Well, Gracie, in a little bit, it's time to get something to eat, okay? Let's check out the fridge and see what we got. Got some of it out here already. Let's see. Yep. Think we got some stuff we can put together. What do you think? A little bit. You gonna come over and help? Probably not. Okay. I believe we got it all there. Oh, well, hello there, friends and family. Didn't see you again today. I surely didn't. But since you snuck in, Gracie's in the dining room hiding under the table. So I know she let you sneak in. A little bit's down at the chow bowl. But since y'all are here anyway, it's always good to have you in the little country kitchen. So hey, come on in. Let me show you what we got and what we're going to be making. Thanks a little bit. You're a real trooper, Gracie. They gave you treats. That's how they get past Spooky and Speedy too. Okay, come on. Well, you know how I always try to do it. Try to put the ingredients out, or at least the ones in memory. Now you can see there's no recipe around. Yep, and you also, if you remember, you know, in a video or two back, or even in this past ride-along one, hopefully you caught it. It was a good ride through the countryside in the rain. Anyway, I've told you a couple of times I'm going to get back to my roots when it comes to cooking. And of course, that's those old recipes that came out of the Great Depression. Harder times, some of the hardest Americans have ever faced. Well, except pioneering times maybe. Of course, my family faced them too, since they settled here prior to the Revolutionary War. But anyway, that's where I'm going. Because here on social media, that's all you hear about. We're all going to starve. We're all going to die. You know, there ain't going to be no food. And personally, I don't believe that. Personally, I believe, yeah, there will be spot shortages. And certain things will be tight. And maybe certain things will not be available at certain times during the year. Yeah, I know. Sort of the way it was the whole time all of us were growing up. Right? But anyway, let's get on to what we got here. And you're going to see, we got some fine smoked sausage there. That's the Bryan brand. But you can use whatever kind you want. Yep, you can use kielbasa, Polish, Italian, Cajun, you know, just whatever. Go for it. It really won't make a whole lot of difference. Well, yeah, will to the flavor. And we're going to pair with that some basic root vegetables. Because it don't get no cheaper than that, does it? Potatoes and some carrots right here. Surely we are. We got some onion and we got a small head of garlic. Won't be using it all. And that's basically the ingredients. And we may, just to make it heartier, more filling, and we'll talk about some of that as we're cooking too, we may cook up some of that there rice. Yep. So when we put all this together, if we want to, we can eat it on top. And that'll stretch the meal even more. Now, hey, that's 14 ounces smoked sausage. And I said we were getting back to our roots. Recipes that were really born out of the Great Depression, as well as the 40s, 50s, and 60s. When, you know, many of us, we weren't wealthy, we weren't affluent, we were just regular poor folk. Yep. So we're going to go slim on the meat. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that while we're slicing her up. But you're going to need a little bit of oil, whatever your choice. I'm going to use some extra virgin olive because I got it. touch of salt. As always, some ground black pepper, just in case you want to add a little more heat to it, you know, because it doesn't turn chilly again here in April. We may, you know, sprinkle on a little bit of that crushed red pepper. Who knows? May just do that as we plate it up every day. But you can throw it in the dish as you're cooking too, won't hurt. We're going to be using some of the original Rotel, diced tomatoes, green chilies. To add a little additional flavor and a little bit of boldness, we'll be using the French's Worcestershire sauce. Yeah. Still can't say that right. Some basil to enhance those tomatoes. Some thyme for the taters. And to make it pretty, on top, a little bit of that dried parsley flakes. Ooh yeah, we're talking high class here, aren't we? And, like all bachelors love, we're going to be using a skillet. Yep. But if you ain't got a skillet and you want to make a pile of this, I mean, what I've got here now, I got 3 taters, an onion. I'll probably use, no, a third of that sausage, maybe. You'll see as we cut it up. And a couple of those carrots. Probably cook up half a cup of rice, which will make 1 cup cooked. Or really it's 1/2 cup cooked, I think. Yeah, 3 to 1. Just a little bit of info there. And that, between all that, that'll be 2, 3, maybe 4 meals for me. So bear that all in mind. But we got out our biggest skillet. Well, not the mama jammer, but we'll just say the daddy skillet. And we're going to be cooking it all up in it. And what is this known as? Well, what great grand and grandma and mama called it, as well as daddy and then me, was basically skillet supper. This particular version would be a sausage skillet supper. Yeah. But in reality, you could use any meat you wanted, as well as any sausage. Yes, you could. And if you need to make up more than that skillet hole, you can use your big pot, just like we did back in the day. But I got some slicing to do on that sausage. I got to get Lilybit there to see if she said she might try peeling those potatoes and the carrots. And Gracie, she ain't much into helping. But Lilybit, she loves Papa. So she's willing to give it a go, but she ain't gonna do no dicing and slicing. She's still too little. Lilybit, are you too little to be slicing and dicing? Huh? You are. But you'll help Papa? You gonna help me? You are? Okay. Yep, she is. She's right under my feet. So let me get a peeling and a slicing and a dicing, and we'll be back. Now, as you can see through the magic of YouTube, Gracie was so kind to come on back in the kitchen after poor Lilybit got the potatoes and the carrots all peeled. It took her a while, about an hour. You know, it's that whole no thumbs thing. And then Gracie sliced them up for her, because she said Lilybit was just too little and big sister had to do it. And of course you can see Gracie right here beside me. I went ahead, sliced up the onion, got one small one, into 1/4 inch half slices and pieces, and minced up 4 cloves of fresh garlic. Now you might notice some green in there, and I'll point out, yep, it's just about ready to sprout, but that don't mean it ain't no good. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've used garlic greens to season a dish. So you got a little green inside your garlic, it ain't bad. Use it on up, young'uns. And like I said, you know, I got me a third of that there smoked sausage, you know. And what's important now is we're going to slice it. Yeah, well, that end piece looks a little ratty, so we'll go ahead and taste it. Oh, yeah. But there's one thing about sausage. It used to be poor folk food. Yeah. You and I both know with the prices now, it ain't poor folk food. Yeah, it's more expensive than even hamburger. But that ain't the way it started out. It started out as a way that poor people could preserve their meats. You know, back in the day. Our day and before. But I could always tell when things were a little bit better around the house, money-wise, and when things weren't. Because when, you know, things were fine, Mama, boy, she might have those slices, 1/4 inch to, 3/8. Then other times, she might have to slice them on to where they were even thinner, which is hard to do since I done sliced that one. But since times are a little tough right now too for all of us, we're going to take this thing and we're going to make it about 1/8 of an inch slices. Then we're going to probably have them too, you know. And we're just doing it on the bias there. The point being, back in the day being, you know, the Great Depression, World War II, well, World War I even, and all that. All those were lean times in America. Way harder than we've seen now. And meat was a luxury. Surely was, and for most of us growing up, it was a luxury too. You know, you've heard many times, I've told y'all, I didn't know what real steak was until I was maybe 14, 15 years old. And that's a bona fide fact. Yep, I thought steak was minute steaks, you know. Those real thin cube steaks. Called them minute steaks back then because they didn't take no time to cook on up. Drop them in the pan after you seasoned them or breaded them. Bread them make them even more better. You know. And it would take a few minutes. Mama, she'd have dinner ready. Yep, that was back in the days when hot dogs and sausages were fairly inexpensive. Bologna, yep. Wouldn't see a pork chop except maybe on for Sunday dinner every once in a while. There we go. We got 1/3 of that 14-ounce pack of smoked sausage from Bryant. Sliced on the bias. Yeah, anywhere from 1/8 or so thick. Chopped up 2 times or 3 times. The whole point is to have enough to season up the whole dish of potatoes and carrots and everything, where everybody gets a little, not a lot. And that's how you'll know a true period recipe from back in the day. You'll know it by how much meat was in it. And that's just a fact. So now we got everything ready to start throwing it together. Well, we got that pan heating up. We want to get her heating. Get her nice and toasty, not smoking. And then we're going to throw in our onion right there. And that was that one small onion. Yep. You can see, sort of half sliced. Yep. Not a lot, but you can put in all you want. Now, try to break it up into some rings. It's noisy. But hey, if you can't have fun playing with your food, then get out of the kitchen. Now, some people hate cooking. And I think that's just because they can't have no fun with it. You know, they don't massage their meat. They don't smack their onions. You know, they don't do none of that stuff. Now, I don't know if you can hear it or not. Those onions are just starting to sizzle a little. Yes, they are. Sort of my way of knowing that pan's getting hot. And what you might not know, if you'll caramelize your onions just a little bit, or a lot, depending on what you want, a yellow and even a white onion will turn sweet. Did you know that? Maybe you didn't. Now you do. Well, I don't know if you can see it. The onions are getting a little bit brown. Just starting to caramelize a little bit. So, what we're going to do is we're going to put this in about, I'd say, about 2 teaspoons, maybe, of that fine olive oil. Going to drop in our taters and our carrots right there. Now I know you can hear the sizzle. And what we're going to do right here is we got to let our taters cook. Yep. We got that heat on a 6. You know. And all we're going to do to speed that process up a little bit is we're going to take and make a magic lid. Because I can't find my lid for the skillet. So, now we got a lid. See how that works? You know, that gets back to do with what you got and not what you wish you had. Now over here, I got me my water going for my rice. And rice is so darn easy to make. You need a pot, and it's a 2-to-1 ratio. Let's just say. Let's say you're making 1 cup of rice. You'd want to use 2 cups of water. Bring it up to a boil. You don't want to chunk in some butter, fine. And then dump in the cup of rice. Stir it up, give it a quick stir. Throw the lid on. Turn it down to a low simmer. And let it go for 20 minutes. Do not open the top. Nope. The key is a low simmer and keep the lid on. Tonight, I'm actually making just a half cup. So there's only 1 cup of water in there. Yep. Surely there is. Well, that'll only take about 10 minutes. And I'll have me some nice fluffy rice. You know, it's just that easy. You don't gotta use that minute rice, Uncle Ben's. And for God's sakes, microwave rice in a bowl? Come on, folks. These are hard times cooking here. Whew. You're gonna go buy all that stuff over there at that there Great Value place. You might as well just stop in a restaurant. But you can hear those potatoes, can't you? Well, I can. Now, see if you peek in on them. Check them out. You can see that steam coming up. Ooh, the onions are getting more brown. Potatoes are starting to cook through. Oh, yeah. Now, I'm making enough for maybe 2 servings for me. That was 2 medium taters. I had a little third one out there, but after Lily Bit peeled it, looked a little sad inside, so, you know, I told her to chunk it. So we just went with the 2 medium potatoes, 1 carrot. Now, you're also wondering why I ain't chunked in the garlic. Well, it's not time yet. Garlic go in right at the end. And there's a reason for that. Put your garlic in too soon, it'll burn. You don't want it browned and burnt, because it'll go bitter on you. And that's probably why a lot of people don't like using fresh garlic. They like using that stuff in a jar. Just saying, you know. I mean, could be. Put on our lid. Oops. I was having to watch for a kitty under my feet and still cook. Okay, it looks like our rice is getting ready to boil, the water for it. I mean, see, it don't take long. It really don't. Oh yeah, we got some boiling water now. So we're just gonna dump in our rice just like that. Give it a little quick stir. See if we can get a little more out of this cup. Now this gets back to the waste not, want not, people. You ain't cooking every grain, you ain't hungry enough. In my mind. Here we go. Slap that back on. Turn our heat down. We're going to set the timer for that little can or pot of rice 10 minutes. It's only half a cup. If we were cooking a whole cup, we'd go 20 minutes. And there we are. Now it's just a waiting game. We got to get the potatoes and carrots softened. A little bit of brown on those taters would be nice. Get our rice all steamed up and fluffy. And then we'll be able to add in that fine smoked sausage and brine and our garlic and seasonings. And don't forget that rotel. Don't forget. Well, as I think you can see, the potatoes are starting to brown up and everything. We're not worried about cooking them all the way through right at this point. Just want to get some brown on them. See? The brown's where the flavor's at. And I tell you all that all the time. Yeah. You want to get the brown on your veg. Yeah, even your carrots. See? That's what you want. You'd be surprised how much more flavor that actually adds to the dish. Now, you may say, well, you don't ever do it and you're just fine and happy. Well, hey, if it makes you happy and you just don't want to be adventurous, I can understand. Me? Yeah. I learned. Sometimes from professionals, as well as my great-grands and grands and my mama and my daddy even. But we don't gotta get the whole thing all the way cooked up at this point, because there's some more cooking to do. There surely is. But we're gonna check those taters and just see how tender they are. And to do that, you gotta have a special calibrated checker. Yep, they're getting there. Surely they are. And you know, if you need to add a little more oil, then you add some. Get things back, you know, sort of percolating, you know. It'll be okay. Just pop you in another couple teaspoonfuls. Get things, you know, back coated. Brine, getting that sizzle back going. You see? My grandma used to say when the pot was singing, she meant sizzling, but she said singing, it told you that your dish was happy. Oh yeah. One thing about Grandma, well, really all the ladies in my family, they enjoyed their cooking. And we would be lucky enough to have it. Most of the men did too. One day I gotta find that lid. And it's in one of my cupboards. Somewhere. Yep. But it's just easy. Get out a piece of Reynolds. Use it as a lid. And it'd be okay. That's what I've done whenever I haven't had a lid before. Ain't seemed to bother me none. Food didn't mind. And those potatoes have been going right at about 10 minutes, if you wanted to know. With the onion, that went about 5 minutes before we threw the taters in there, just in case you want to know. But I mean, it's all about looking at it, knowing what you're seeing. And those onions start to get the brown is, you know, just touch brown, throw your taters in, because the onions are going to go ahead and continue to caramelize, as you have seen. So, there we have it. That's at the stage I think I'm going to stop the frying process. Yep. Well, for this, let me show it to you. You see right there? I think you can see. The onion continued to brown. Ooh, and it is sweet now. Potatoes got some light browning on them. Fantastic. As do the carrots. So, I'm going to scoop this on out, throw her in the bowl, and we're going to get that sausage in there. Okay, give it a little bit of brown too. A minute or two won't kill the rice, trust me. We get our sausage in there. Get it to sizzling. Yep, it ain't a lot, but everybody will get a bite. If you figure this will be 2, maybe 3 meals with rice for the little old man. Kiddies, they can't have it. It's got onion in it and garlic. I mean, it'll be fine. We got to cut back. Let me check my rice. Ooh, let me show this to you. Oh, let me show it to you. Woo, look at there, look at there. Look at there. Yep. Yep. See it? Yep. Just a little bit moist. Not bad. Let's try it. We'll put it over there just for another couple of minutes on super low. You know, maybe another 2 or 3, because that rice will continue to absorb that moisture. Be soft. Now I tasted it. You don't want it mushy. Well, I don't. I want my rice just to have, not be crunchy, but have just a little bit of bite. Because then when you put something on top of it, you know, like gumbo, or it's in your jambo life, or, you know, what we're going to use as our base for dumping our fine skillet meal over, you don't want it to be mushy. Otherwise, it'll be real mushy. So yeah, get her up to a rolling boil, throw the rice in, that's for a half cup, not a whole, and set it for 10 minutes. Like I say, I let it go a couple more minutes, turn the heat off, leave the lid closed. Normally I don't open the lid, I've been doing it so long, but I did that for you. And I'm just a good guy, you know. I try to do a little bit of teaching. You know, this isn't a recipe or dish as much as it is We learn along the way. So, you learn from what I've already learned. That's how, I taught my children how to cook. Right here in this kitchen and others. As well as many good friends and family. Surely did. Now the sad part about all the sausage, or pretty much all we can buy now, unless you really want to pay some top dollar, is it ain't like back like it was in the 50s and 60s, guys. I guarantee you there was no chicken in our smoked sausage back then. It was pork, beef, hey, even lamb. Yep, this here add chicken to everything. It's a modern time thing, it is. And that's why, unless you're going to pay some serious dollars and get what they call now specialty sausage, which it wasn't, you cannot duplicate the actual taste and textures of the past. Not within reasonable price range. This ain't no cooking show. I don't work for the Food Network. And I'm not sponsored by Gordon Ramsay. Nope. I ain't even sponsored by PBS. Imagine that. Nope. Yeah, we got us a little brown on there. That's all we're after. Okay. So we're going to turn that heat down to about a 3. And we're going to start putting this together. Oh yeah. In goes the original recipe rotel. You know. Right there. Uh-oh. We lost one. He didn't want to give up his life. Let's see. We didn't drain the rotel. Nope. And we're going to add back in the taters. And the onions. And the carrots. And all that yummy olive oil. No, that's not grease, folks. That's EVO. That's the good stuff. And now we got to sort of combine it all. And you can see, even with this here massive skillet, even though it's not my very largest, 2 potatoes, 1 carrot, about 5 ounces of sausage, small onion, and it's got this here skillet starting to fill up, or at least where it's manageable, and you can see how much food this is already making. Surely enough. Looking nice. So let's give it a little bit of seasoning while it's simmering there on a 3, you know, because we'll let those potatoes continue. They were almost done. Let me try that onion. Oh yeah, I'm telling you. You caramelize onions, you won't have to buy those there expensive ones no more. Oh no, you won't. And this is on your seasoning. You got to learn from experience or just go low. I know based on what I got going here and what I like, I'm going to go with a half a teaspoon of ground black pepper. I surely am. I'm going to go with a 1/4 teaspoon of thyme leaves to enhance that potato flavor. I'm going to do the same for the tomatoes with that basil. Yep. And just to warm it up just a little bit, I'm going to put me in just under, or just over, 1/8 of a teaspoon of that there crushed red pepper. See? Right there. So there we got our seasoning in. You'll notice the salt has not gone in yet. Nope. And to give it a little bit more robust flavor, we're going to go ahead, shake up your Worcestershire sauce. We're going to put 1 and sort of 2 in there. Be okay. There we go. Now, you can see those potatoes are starting to sweat things out. Now, if maybe you don't like things, you know, with me, y'all been cooking with me long enough to know I'm all about the flavor. You take some cheap ingredients and you take some spices, I think you could make a rhinoceros rear end tasty. I surely do believe you could. Yeah, and you notice I didn't put no salt. There's a lot of salt in that there sausage. Yep. And what you might not know too, there's a pile of salt in that rotel. So always hold back on the salt. Unless you know for sure, based on your ingredients, that you're gonna need some. Yeah, that's starting to look tasty, ain't it? Home style. Now, we can't forget our fresh garlic. Now would be the time. Got our garlic in there. Now we get out our magic lid. And we're going to let that just sort of simmer low. About a 2 on my stove. For about 10 minutes. There we go. Y'all watch that. Don't let me burn it while I get things straightened up, okay? I got no help here. I fed Gracie a little bit and they're napping. Well, y'all, I do appreciate you watching that while I was getting the kitchen cleaned on up. Let's take a look at it. Because I think it's pretty much done. Yep. Get out our official tater checker. Oh yeah. Pulls right out nice and easy. And same way with those carrots. Yep. Still got a little bit of that there tomato juice in there. That's all good. Everything's nice browned up. Yeah. Let me show it to you. Yep. See it? See it right there? Ooh, that's a pile of food, ain't it? Yeah, for no more than what we had. 2 taters, 1 carrot, 4 cloves of garlic, small onion. Oh, about 5 ounces of smoked sausage and a can of rotel. And of course we got our half cup of rice, which is now a whole cup of rice. Right over here. All nice and fluffy. Yep. So we're ready to plate it on up, don't you think? And if you could smell it, you'd be saying, oh yeah. So let's get to plate. Ooh, Lordy. So like I said, there's our rice. Ain't burnt to the bottom. See? Nope. Nice and fluffy. That's what you want. You don't want a sticky rice for this. We're just going to take on some rice. You know, 1/2 cup of uncooked rice. Makes, I think it's about a cup and a quarter, cup and a half of cooked rice. So we got some nice bed there, nice fluffy rice. Now we're gonna take this fine skillet dinner and we're gonna plop it over that rice. Ooh, yeah, doggy. Cover it right up on it. We are. Yep, still got plenty left. I'm thinking we might get 4 meals out of this. Sprinkle us a little parsley on it to make it a little bit better. Now I'm losing the light in the kitchen. So, there we have it. Got me some new lights coming for the kitchen. Hoping it'll brighten it some up. I mean, it's still daylight outside. Well, it's almost still daylight. So here's where we're at. There we are. If I had better lighting, you'd be able to see it better. So, we got to get to eating. So I sure hope you enjoyed cooking with us. Me, Gracie and Lilybit. As you can see, they're over there playing. They can't wait either. What they don't know, they can't have none. So, I'll have to find them some treats. Woo, and we are hungry. So, I'm going to grab a fork. I'm going to start eating. If y'all would like some, there's more bowls up there in the cupboard. Plenty, some rice left. It won't take long, as you saw it, cook up some more. Fix you up a bowl. So until I, Gracie, Lilybit, the Kitty Crew, I'll see you on the next video. Y'all take care. Stay safe. And God bless each and every one of you as you bless others. Goodbye and good night for now. Okay, guys. It's time to eat. You hear me? I hear you later on.